Prepare for a revelation that could transform your life. Something so remarkably simple, it almost defies belief. A simple act you could perform right now, this very morning, with an item likely tucked away in your kitchen cabinet. Yet, there's a powerful chance this single thing could revolutionize your circulation far more effectively than any medication you're currently taking. It could banish those cold feet that have plagued you for years, allowing you to walk further without pain than you've managed in months. And you remain utterly unaware because no one has ever shared this secret with you. What I'm about to unveil will undoubtedly shock you. Not because it's complex, but precisely because of its profound simplicity. Your doctor has likely never mentioned it. Vascular specialists don't discuss it. But the research is undeniable. Published. Crystal clear. This incredibly simple practice, when done correctly each morning, can measurably boost blood flow, diminish the inflammation silently destroying your arteries, and help your blood vessels function as they were meant to. All for less than the cost of a weekly cup of coffee. By the end of this, you'll know precisely what this is, how to use it effectively, and why it often succeeds where medications fall short. I won't just tell you what to do. I'll show you what's truly happening inside your arteries right now. And once you grasp that, your perception of circulation will be forever changed. Stay with me, because what you discover here could be the pivotal difference between losing your ability to walk and retaining it, between enduring cold, aching feet, and enjoying warm, comfortable ones, between watching your circulation deteriorate and witnessing its dramatic improvement. Let me introduce you to Margaret. I urge you to listen intently to her story, for I assure you, you will recognize yourself within it. Margaret, a retired nurse at 68, dedicated 40 years to caring for others. Now, she desperately needed help herself and felt utterly lost. 2 years prior, Margaret's feet turned cold. Not merely chilly, but perpetually ice cold. Even in summer, even encased in thick socks, her feet felt like frozen blocks. Initially, she dismissed it as simply aging, poor circulation. Nothing serious, but it progressively worsened. Her feet weren't just cold, they became numb. She couldn't feel them properly. Walking felt alien, as if she navigated the world on wooden blocks instead of her own feet. Then, the pain began. After just a few blocks, Margaret's calves would seize with a deep, aching cramp, forcing her to halt. She'd stand on the sidewalk, waiting for the agony to subside. A minute or two later, it would ease, allowing her to resume walking. But it always returned. Over months, the distance she could walk before the pain struck dwindled relentlessly. A mile became half a mile became a quarter. Eventually, Margaret could barely manage the short walk to the corner store without needing to stop and rest. Margaret consulted her doctor. He examined her feet, checked her pulses, and his expression grew concerned. "I suspect you have peripheral artery disease," he stated. "The arteries in your legs are likely blocked. We need to run some tests." The tests confirmed his suspicion. Margaret's arteries were narrowed, choked by plaque buildup. Blood couldn't flow adequately to her legs. This explained her icy feet, her numbness, her inability to walk without excruciating pain. Her doctor prescribed medications, pills to enhance blood flow, aspirin to prevent clots. "These should help," he assured her. Margaret took them diligently. After 2 months, there was barely any improvement. She might have managed 3 blocks instead of 2 before the cramping started, but she remained severely limited, still in pain, still consumed by fear. Margaret's father had succumbed to this very disease. He had ignored it for years. By the time he finally sought treatment, one of his legs had turned gangrenous. It was amputated. He never recovered, dying in the hospital 3 weeks later. Margaret was 35 then, and the memory haunted her. Now she faced the same disease, terrified she was following his tragic path. Margaret retreated from life. She used to cherish her Saturday morning walks to the farmer's market just 4 blocks from her home. The vibrant produce, the fragrant flowers, the lively atmosphere. It was her weekly ritual. Now it was impossible. 4 blocks was too far. The pain would hit after 2. She'd have to stop, stand there cramping. She tried once and gave up halfway, never attempting it again. Her daughter lived 3 blocks away, 3 blocks. Margaret used to walk there twice a week to visit her grandchildren, to play with them, read to them, to be an active part of their lives. Now her daughter had to drive to pick her up. Or Margaret simply wouldn't go, fabricating excuses. "I'm tired today. I'm not feeling well." She couldn't bring herself to admit, "I can't walk 3 blocks." Her grandchildren, 6 and 8, were growing up rapidly, changing every week, and Margaret was missing it all. Missing precious moments she should have been there for. Birthday parties, school plays, soccer games, all happening just 3 blocks away, yet feeling like 300 miles. Margaret's husband would often find her weeping at night. "What's wrong?" he'd ask. She couldn't articulate the depth of her despair. How do you explain the terror of becoming your father, of watching your body mirror his decline, powerless to stop it? That every cold foot, every cramping calf, every numb toe served as a chilling reminder of a slow, inevitable death? The nights were the worst. Margaret would climb into bed, her feet like blocks of ice. Her husband would accidentally touch them and recoil. "Your feet are freezing," he'd remark, not critically, just stating a fact. But Margaret interpreted it as confirmation. Her circulation was so poor, her feet couldn't retain warmth, even beneath blankets. She'd lie there sleepless, her feet throbbing with a dull ache. She'd envision her blood struggling to squeeze through narrowed arteries, insufficient oxygen reaching her tissues, her feet slowly dying, pale, then purple, then black, gangrenous, just like her father's. She'd wake at 2 a.m., shuffle to the bathroom, scrutinize her feet. Were they paler than yesterday? Were her toes more purple? Was that discoloration the ominous beginning? She'd press on her toenails, watching the blood return agonizingly slowly, too slowly, a terrifying sign of worsening condition. Margaret became fixated, checking her feet multiple times a day, searching for any sign of tissue death, any unhealing cut, any infected-looking blister. She knew that with compromised circulation, even a minor infection could spiral out of control. Tissues starved of blood cannot heal, cannot fight infection. A small cut becomes an ulcer. An ulcer leads to gangrene. Gangrene necessitates amputation. Her father's amputation had been below the knee. Margaret remembered visiting him in the hospital the day before his surgery. He had looked at her, tears in his eyes. "I wish I'd addressed this sooner," he'd whispered. "I ignored the warnings. Now look at me." 3 weeks later, he was gone. Infection, organ failure. Margaret was 68, the same age her father had been when his condition became critical. Was she on the same grim time? Would she be in a wheelchair next year? Missing a leg in 2, dead in 3? The thought was suffocating. Margaret's quality of life plummeted. She spent most days confined to her recliner, feet propped up, not truly watching TV, but simply sitting, lost in thoughts of her father, her frozen feet, the looming amputation, her own death. She ceased cooking, cleaning, any activity requiring her to stand. Her husband took over, patient and uncomplaining, but Margaret felt like a burden, useless, broken. At 68, she couldn't stand long enough to prepare dinner. Then Margaret's daughter, a physician assistant, suggested she seek my second opinion. Margaret arrived at my office, desperate. "I refuse to lose my leg," she pleaded. "I won't die like my father, but the medications aren't helping. What else can I possibly do?" I reviewed Margaret's medical records. 2 years of treatments, tests, medications, doctor visits, everything meticulously documented. But one glaring omission leaped out at me. Not what was present in the records, but what was conspicuously absent. No one had ever inquired about Margaret's diet, her nutritional intake, whether her body possessed the essential elements to maintain healthy blood vessels and optimal blood flow. I questioned Margaret about her diet. She ate reasonably well, chicken, fish, some vegetables. But as I delved deeper, I realized she lacked almost everything critical for actual circulation improvement. The compounds that soothe arterial inflammation, the nutrients that help blood vessels relax and dilate, the factors that enhance blood flow even when arteries are partially obstructed. Her body was attempting to combat a circulation problem with no resources, like battling a fire without water. But I won't reveal my recommendations for Margaret just yet. First, you must comprehend what truly transpires inside blocked arteries. You need to understand that poor circulation isn't solely about blockages. It's about inflammation. It's about blood vessels incapable of proper relaxation. It's about blood that's too thick and sluggish. And all these issues can be alleviated with specific interventions that most doctors never mention. Take a moment to comment below right now if you experience cold feet, leg pain while walking, or have been diagnosed with circulation problems. Type circulation issues so I can see how many of you are grappling with this. Now, let me explain what truly unfolds inside your arteries when circulation falters. Your arteries are not mere tubes. They are vibrant, living tissue. The innermost layer, the part that directly contacts your blood, is coated with a delicate layer of cells. These cells perform a vital function. They produce a molecule that keeps your blood vessels relaxed and open. This molecule is the key to unimpeded blood flow. When these cells suffer damage or inflammation, they cease producing enough of this crucial molecule. Your arteries stiffen. they lose their ability to relax properly. Blood flow diminishes. Even if the arteries aren't entirely blocked, blood struggles to flow because the vessels cannot expand as they should. This is precisely what was happening to Margaret. She had some arterial blockages, yes, but the more profound issue was that the arteries themselves were no longer functioning correctly. They were inflamed, rigid, unable to dilate. And medication alone wasn't resolving that. Furthermore, a specific culprit fuels this inflammation, rendering arteries stiff and unable to relax. It's not cholesterol itself, not directly. It's the damage inflicted upon cholesterol within your artery walls. The oxidation, the inflammatory reaction your body triggers when damaged cholesterol becomes trapped. This inflammation is chronic, unrelenting. It ravages the cells lining your arteries, preventing them from producing the vital molecule that keeps vessels relaxed. And the cycle relentlessly continues. More inflammation, stiffer vessels, worse blood flow, more damage. The medications Margaret was taking attempted to force blood through damaged, inflamed, rigid arteries. But they didn't tackle the inflammation itself. They didn't help her blood vessels relax and function properly. They were merely managing symptoms, not addressing the root cause. And here's what most people never learn. There are specific natural compounds that directly quell this inflammation, aid in the recovery of damaged blood vessel cells, and amplify the production of that crucial molecule that ensures vessels remain relaxed. These compounds have been extensively studied, the research is published, their mechanisms are thoroughly understood. Yet, most doctors never speak of them. The compound I'm about to share with you is one of the most potent for this purpose. Research unequivocally demonstrates its ability to reduce inflammation in blood vessels, help them relax and dilate, and measurably improve blood flow. And astonishingly, it has been utilized for millennia for precisely this application. Are you beginning to feel a spark of frustration? You should be, because this information exists, the research exists, but no one told Margaret about it for 2 agonizing years while she suffered. No one told her there were options beyond simply taking pills and hoping for the best. Now, before I reveal this compound, I need you to do something important. Hit the like button. I know I haven't disclosed it yet, but your like ensures this video reaches more individuals suffering from circulation problems, more people who desperately need this information, who have no idea such simple interventions exist. Please hit like right now, right? The compound resides in cloves. Yes, the spice. Those tiny dried buds you might possess in your kitchen right now. Specifically, it's a component of cloves that constitutes most of their active compounds. It's what imparts their distinctive aroma and flavor. This compound performs multiple miracles for your circulation. First, it acts as a potent anti-inflammatory. It quells the inflammation within your artery walls that causes stiffness and impedes proper blood flow. Second, it empowers the cells lining your arteries to produce more of that critical molecule that maintains vessel relaxation. Increased production translates to enhanced blood flow. Third, it preempts the damage to cholesterol that ignites the inflammatory cycle in the first place. It's a powerful antioxidant, safeguarding cholesterol from oxidation and subsequent inflammation. And fourth, it helps prevent blood from clotting too readily. Not dramatically like prescription blood thinners, but just enough to optimize flow and reduce the risk of dangerous clot formation. Research has directly quantified these effects. Individuals who incorporate cloves into their routine exhibit measurably superior blood vessel function, improved blood flow, and reduced inflammation. Some studies even show improvements within a matter of weeks. Margaret commenced a straightforward protocol. Each morning, she would take 2 whole cloves, place them in her mouth, and chew them thoroughly. The taste is intense, spicy, with a slight numbing effect. That numbing sensation signifies the release of the active compound. She would chew until the cloves were entirely broken down, then swallow. The entire process typically took about 30 seconds. Why whole cloves instead of supplements? Because whole cloves offer a complete spectrum of compounds in their natural, balanced state, working synergistically. Supplements can sometimes be overly concentrated, potentially leading to irritation. Whole cloves, when chewed properly, release their beneficial compounds gradually and safely. Within 2 weeks, Margaret noticed a change. Her feet felt marginally warmer, not dramatically so, but subtly. She questioned if it was real, but by week 3, there was no doubt. Her feet were genuinely warmer, not yet normal, but warmer than they had been in 2 years. By week 4, the numbness began to recede. She could feel her toes more distinctly. When she wiggled them, she could actually feel the movement, rather than just observing it. The cramping pain started to ease around week 5. Margaret cautiously tested her walking distance. She managed 3 blocks before any cramping, then 4. By week 8, she could walk half a mile before the pain started, and even then, it was less severe and subsided faster with rest. After 3 months, we reevaluated her circulation. The tests revealed significant improvement. Blood flow to her legs had measurably increased, not yet perfectly normal, but substantially better. Margaret wept when I presented her with the results. For the first time in 2 years, she held tangible proof that things were improving, not deteriorating. At 6 months, her circulation tests were almost normal. Her walking distance exceeded a mile. She could once again walk to the farmer's market, shop, and return home. No severe cramping, just a mild tightness near the end that quickly dissipated. She started walking to her daughter's house. 3 blocks, the distance that had seemed insurmountable for 2 years. She'd arrive and her grandchildren would rush to embrace her. "Grandma, you haven't been here in forever." Her daughter would look at her, eyes glistening. She understood the profound significance of those 3 blocks. Margaret's depression lifted. Not entirely. 2 years of suffering don't vanish overnight. But the crushing weight of hopelessness had gone. She was no longer waiting to die. She was improving, growing stronger, reclaiming her life. At 1 year, Margaret's feet were warm. She could feel them normally. She could walk as far as she desired. The disease hadn't miraculously disappeared. The blockages were still visible on imaging. But her circulation had improved so dramatically that it no longer mattered. Her arteries were functioning better. Blood was flowing better. She was living a normal life again, all from simply chewing 2 cloves every morning. Now let me provide you with the exact protocol. First, purchase whole cloves. You can find them in the spice aisle of any grocery store. Ensure they are fresh. Fresh cloves should be dark brown, slightly oily, and release a strong scent when gently squeezed. Every morning, take 2 whole cloves. Place them in your mouth and chew them thoroughly. Chew until they are completely broken down into a paste. The taste will be strong and spicy. That's normal, indicating the active compounds are being released. Swallow once fully chewed. If the taste is too intense, you may drink water afterward. Implement this every single morning. Consistency is paramount. The benefits accumulate over time. This is not a quick fix. It's a daily practice that sustains your circulation. You can also enhance this by adding vitamin K2 and magnesium. Vitamin K2 helps prevent calcium buildup in arteries, which can lead to stiffness. Take 100 to 200 micrograms daily. Magnesium aids blood vessels in relaxation. Take 300 to 400 milligrams daily. The glycinate form is ideal. If you are currently on blood-thinning medications like warfarin or Plavix, consult your doctor before incorporating cloves. Cloves do affect blood clotting, and combining them with blood thinners requires medical supervision. If you are scheduled for surgery, discontinue cloves at least 2 weeks beforehand. Inform your surgeon that you have been using them. Everything I've shared is for educational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Do not discontinue your circulation medications without consulting your doctor. Use cloves as a complementary approach alongside your prescribed medical treatment, not as a replacement. Collaborate with your doctor. Monitor your symptoms. If improvements occur, your doctor can adjust your medications appropriately. Tonight, reflect on Margaret's journey. 2 years of suffering with freezing feet and crippling pain, terrified of losing her leg like her father, on medications that offered scant relief. Then, she began chewing cloves every morning. Within months, her circulation demonstrably improved. Her pain diminished, her feet warmed, her life returned. That remarkable transformation could be yours. Starting tomorrow morning, 2 cloves thoroughly chewed every single day. It's that simple and it could make all the difference. Share this video with anyone you know who struggles with circulation problems, cold feet, or leg pain. Your act of sharing could genuinely change someone's life. Subscribe to this channel and most importantly, start tomorrow. Provide your body with what it needs and witness the incredible results. I'll see you in the next video.